ايه ده فوزي؟ طارق روحي فين؟ مش مع طارق.
Mr. Which page?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هنبدأ مع بعض أولى دروسنا النهاردة. The chemical reaction. Okay. بسم الله. جاهزين معايا يا شباب؟ Are you ready? We are going to explain the new lesson in chapter 7. Okay? Chemical reaction. Chemical reaction. What's the meaning of chemical reaction? Chemical reaction is breaking up of bond in molecules of reactant and formation new bonds in the molecules of product. We know the chemical equation consists of two parts, reactants and product. Reactants and product. Reactants, the elements of reactant react with each other to form new product, new substance. Each molecule in reactant consists of bonds. These bonds need energy to break down these bonds. The chemical reaction between molecule and reactant to break down the bonds between the reactant and produce new bonds in molecule. Okay. Now, the main lesson here is factor affecting the rate of chemical reaction. Factor affecting the rate of chemical reaction. Okay. The natural of reactant. The natural of reactant. The concentration of reactant. And the third one, temperature of reactant. The fourth, catalyst. So the first one here is the natural of reactant. How the reactant is formed in chemical reaction. Okay. طبيعة المواد المتفاعلة داخل التفاعل. So the natural of reactant. The temperature, the concentration of reactant. Concentration of reactant mean كمية المواد المتفاعلة في التفاعل. يبقى عندنا أول حاجة natural of reactant، طبيعة المواد المتفاعلة الداخلة في إيه؟ في التفاعل. Okay. Number 2, the concentration of reactant. كمية تركيز المواد المتفاعلة داخل التفاعل. The temperature of reactants اللي هي ايه؟ درجة حرارة التفاعل ذات نفسها. For catalyst في بعض التفاعلات need another substance to initiate and accelerate the reaction, the chemical reaction. So it is called, this substance called catalyst. Catalyst means a substance used in chemical reaction to initiate or accelerate the chemical reaction. Okay. There are 4 factors affect the chemical reaction. We are going to explain the first factor. It's called the natural of reactants. Again, natural of reactants mean how the reactants appear in the reactant is a chemical reaction. بمعنى تاني طبيعة المواد المتفاعلة الداخلة في التفاعل. طيب. The nature of chemical reactants is related to two kinds. The kind of bonding in reactants and the surface area of reactants exposed to reaction. Number A, the kind of bonding of reactant. Kind of bonding in reactant. What's the meaning of kind of bond reactant? There are two bonds in the reactant. we درسنا في الترم الأولاني. There are two bonds, covalent bond and ionic bond. Covalent bond and ionic bond. بمعنى تاني لو احنا دخلنا هنا في التفاعلات وقيدنا ان بعض المواد المتفاعله تبقى connected by covalent bond، بعض المواد المتفاعله connected by ionic bond. ايه تاثير these bonds in chemical reaction? Accelerate or slowing the chemical reaction. Now listen to me. The kind of bonding in chemical reaction, covalent bond. Equivalent bond, when enter in reaction, chemical reaction, they are slow react compound because they don't break up into ions. So why? Again, I give reason. The covalent compound in chemical reaction react slowly because they don't break up into ions. When give you example question, give reason why the covalent compound are slowly reacting compound because they don't break up into ions. The ionic bond, they are reacting compound because they break up into ions. So the ionic bond react faster than a covalent bond. This is dependent. Okay. The differentiation between covalent bond and ionic bond. Covalent bond react slowly, but ionic compound react faster. Now, the second factor, surface area of reactants exposed to the reaction. The surface area of reactants exposed to the reaction يعني ايه؟ هنقول كمية أو شكل المواد المتفاعلة داخل التفاعل، شكلها داخل التفاعل. For example، جبنا عندنا هنا hydrochloric acid with calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate react with hydrochloric acid. هو بنسميه calcium carbonate وهو بنسميه limestone. هنا قلنا increase the surface area of solid reactant. Increase the surface area of solid reactant. Result in increase the number of collisions, and this result in increase the number of successful collisions. يعني ايه عندنا بمعنى ايه؟ Increase the surface area of solid reactant. Solid reactant here is this chemical reaction is calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate found in two forms. Number one, powder. Number two, lump. What's the meaning of powder? Powder is very tiny particle. يعني ايه tiny particle؟ يعني small, very small particle. حبيبات دقيقة، حبيبات صغيرة جدا، ده بنسميه ايه؟ powder. Lumps يعني ايه؟ Lumps very large particle يعني أكبر حجما من البودر. So the surface area here of powder limestone is more large than lump form of limestone of calcium carbonate. So what's the meaning of increase the number of collisions؟ يعني دي بتدي مساحة أكبر لكالسيوم كربونات to react with H hydrochloric acid. Okay? But in the case of lumps form of calcium carbonate, there is no this small surface area react with another substance. So increase the surface area in case of powder calcium carbonate increase the number of collisions. collisions معناها تصادم between the solid reactant and liquid reactant. And this result in increase the number of successful reactions اللي هي بنسميها ايه؟ المواد الناتجه من التفاعل. احنا قلنا هنا الاكزامبل بتاعنا. The example here, reaction between hyaluronic acid and calcium carbonate. Hyaluronic acid and calcium carbonate. طيب, equation hyaluronic acid plus calcium carbonate produce calcium chloride and carbon dioxide and water. So the gas which produced from this equation is carbon dioxide. The calcium which produced from this reaction is carbon dioxide. Again, what's the salt here? Salt here is calcium chloride. Gas, carbon dioxide. Now, the experiment. This experiment explains the surface area or how effect in the rate of chemical reaction. Bring to test tube A and B. Test tube to test tube A and B. Put in the same amount of HCl, carbohydrate acid, in test tube A and B. Put the same mass of calcium carbonate in the test tube A and B. But there is difference in the form of calcium carbonate. We put in test tube A powder calcium carbonate, powdered calcium carbonate. But in test tube B, put calcium carbonate in lumps form. In lumps form. Again, we differentiate between lumps form and powder form. Powder form is very tiny particles of the substance. Lumps form is very not very large, but particularly or relatively large. Okay. Initiate the reaction. The chemical reaction between the reactants start in the post test start in the same time. نبدأ نعمل تفاعل التفاعل في وقت واحد. Observation. هنلاحظ ايه بقى؟ Increase the surface of reactants in test tube A. Increase the surface of reactants in test tube B rather than test tube B. Explain this observation. Explain this observation. هنقول هنا there is the reactant in test tube A react faster in test tube than in test tube B. Why? Because the surface area has been increased by powdering the limestone calcium carbonate and increase the number of collisions. Collisions قلنا انها ايه؟ تصادمات between the solid and liquid reactants. Between the reactants, so increase the rate of reaction. Again, the experiment. As the first, bring two test tube A and B. Put in test tube A and B the same amount hyaluronic acid and put the same mass of calcium carbonate. Okay. Initiate. Again, here put the same amount of calcium hyaluronic acid into test tube and put the same amount of calcium carbonate اللي هو نسميه limestone in test tube A and B. Okay. The test tube A contain, but هنا in test tube A contain ايه؟ نسميه very tiny particle of calcium carbonate. But test tube B contain large particle of limestone calcium carbonate. Okay, this tiny particle but this large particle of calcium carbonate. Understand? Right. Initiate the reaction in the same time. Initiate the reaction at the same time. Observation. هنشوف ايه بقى؟ There is increase the surface area of reactant in test tube A than the test tube reactant in test tube B. Conclusion. ايه تفسير اللي احنا شفناه دوت؟ هنفسره بايه؟ ركز معايا. The conclusion here, there is the reactant in test tube A react faster than in test tube B. The surface area here, the surface area in test tube A react faster than in test tube B. The surface area has been increased by powdering the limestone, increase the number of collisions between reactants, so increase the rate of reactant. Understand? Again, to understand the experiment, which explain the factor affecting the surface effect on the wait a minute. عايز امرر الصفحه no خلص.
بص بتاع مصر عايز تكتب
Now we can make curves explain the rate of this reaction in each test tube. Look at these curves. The first curve here, powder calcium carbonate. The reaction here, the chemical reaction initiate faster and increase in the height, but the second curve explain the reaction of lumps of calcium carbonate with hydrochloric acid initiate slowly and okay. This is the curves explain the rate of chemical reaction. الانجليش ما في طبعا. خلاص الانجليش عايز افتح باب الحوار مع طلب.
لازم يعملوا يتكلموا.
عايز اتكلم معاك. Now we are finished.
no mute ولا قبل
ميوت وانا افتح عليه عايز ارفع ايدي بس. or Sayed. Yes.
Yes, Mister.
Yes.
On the previous page that you opened the test tubes in the powder form, it was in larger amount than the lamp form. Why?
Now explain. Listen to me carefully. Powder form and the lumps form is the same amount of calcium carbonate. Not calcium powder form mass equals the lumps form of calcium carbonate. Right. Look at me. This is the lumps, the powder form. Okay, powder form. So each particle has surround surface, but this is of lumps form. Okay, understand? So the surface here is smaller than the surface here because the particle of powder form is very large. Okay? Now?
Mister.
Yes.
Mister, but that the same amount of the powder form of limestone was added, like
Yes.
the lamps.
The mass.
There was
the mass.
No, not
Mass
the mass.
of powder and lumps form is the same, but the surface area or the form of the calcium carbonate is different. Because limestone powder has more large particle. طيب لو احنا مثلا عندي the same amount of اسمه ايه small stock lasers. عندك lasers. Okay, lasers in small particles, 1 kilo of lasers in small particles and 1 kilo of lasers of large particle. نفترض ان ديت eraser ماشي ودي eraser. Okay, this eraser large surface, small surface, and this eraser large. This 1 kilo and this 1 kilo, but 1 kilo consists of five particle, but this kilo consists of 2 particle. Okay, so the surface area of group A larger than the surface area of group B. Understand?
Yes.
هنا number 1 هنا A 1 kilo consists of 5 particles, but in group B the 1 kilo consists of 2 particles. So the surface area of group A larger than the surface area of group B. Understand?
Yes.
The same in powder and lumps. Powder consists the 1 kilo or the amount of calcium carbonate here is more large particles. Okay, but in lumps form the amount of calcium carbonate in a small amount, but at the same mass. That is 1 gram or 1 gram. Understand? What's the difference between lumps and form and powder, and how powder has a small surface area than lumps?
Yes.
Any question?
No, thanks.
Yes, Fawaz. Fawaz. Who can ask it? Yes, Omar.
Drawing again.
Omar,
Yes.
ask your question.
Explain the drawing.
Uh, draw or experiment all.
No, the drawing only. I understand the experiment.
You understand the experiment?
Yeah.
Draw curves.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to me careful. The first curve number 1 هو powdered lime اللي هو powdered calcium carbonate. Powdered calcium carbonate. Look at the curve, initiate chemical action. Okay, the initiation of chemical action is start fast only. Okay, but in case of limestone, the second curve initiate slowly. Understand?
Yeah.
What's the difference? The curve here, number 1, initiate
It's
faster.
more reacting faster than the lamp.
Yes, you understand?
Yeah.
Right. Omar, خلاص. Hisham Sultan, yes, Hisham Sultan.
Mr. Can you send this document on
Raise
the
your voice,
website?
Hisham, بعد إذنك.
Mr. Can you send this document on the website?
Yes, I will. This document in the group, inshallah.
Okay, thanks.
طب, any question in this lesson today?
No, nothing.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Hi. Ahmed Adil. Yes,
Mister,
Ahmed.
we will take till surface area only. We will not take concentration.
لا, surface area only today. Inshallah,
Okay.
the second and the third, because the concentration and the catalyst and temperature very small.
Okay.
Understand today the lesson?
Yes.
Okay. 4 again. 4 again. Yes, 4.
Mister,
Yes.
Mister, when you send this on the boys group, we don't get it. Like we girls, we have our girls group, we don't get these notes.
لا إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى. مستر متولي أرسلكم إن شاء الله.
Will we get it too?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Many thanks. طيب. Omar again. Omar, what do you want again?
I raised it by wrong.
Yeah?
I raised it wrongly. Accidentally.
Raise your voice, I don't hear you.
I raised the hand accidentally.
Okay, okay, yes. فواز. يا فواز. عايز ايه يا فواز؟ انت رافع ايديك وخلاص يا فواز. يحيى ايمن، there's a question. يحيى ايمن.
No question.
Understand?
Yes.
Yazin. Huh? Yazin.
Mister, I don't have questions.
Okay. آية ولا فواز ترفع في ايدك وخلاص يا فواز ما تتكلمش. فواز خلاص. The lesson today was finished. Okay. Goodbye and thank you very much. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.